So Scott,
Yes.
you and me, we've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for 15 plus years now. At least I've been playing for about 15 plus years. I don't know about you.
25 plus years.
There we go.
Yeah, add 10. So I think anything you've done, I can do just add 10.
Add 10.
Almost 40.
Yeah, then there's
our producer, Dan, is almost 40.
Somebody behind the camera who refused to be behind the camera for this one is a wealth of knowledge. Again, really, we should just let Dan do...
Anything nerd-related.
Right. Yeah,
Knowledgeable.
I know that. I know.
Huge nerd.
But we're not talking about necessarily the game.
The game, no.
Which we want to talk about the storytelling aspect of it,
Right.
That comes from the playing, which really is my favorite part. I do love rolling dice and the battles, and because
Sure.
that is the story as well. You sliced him you critted and cut his arm off, and then I totally missed and fumbled and threw my sword across the room, and the fireball lit everything on fire and the cobwebs obscured. The battle can be a great story.
Yeah.
But I do like the role-playing side of it as well. Mm-hmm. Now, in the game world, in the playing world, I understand. Creepy Monkey's getting bored. Okay, sorry, Creepy Monkey. He's just gonna nod.
Kill the monkey. Please
nod, no.
kill the monkey.
So in the game, he's an ancient relic. You're probably cursed now.
Good.
In the D&D world, as see, you've been cursed. He will show back up in your nightmares. In the D&D world, you have to understand that there are people who aren't into the role-playing side of it, and which also I think, which is great because everybody that plays, and we keep saying D&D, it can be other role-playing games, but
I didn't start playing D&D. I started playing Pathfinder, which I know is kind of like the same thing in most cases, but still technically a different system.
Yeah. I let people, like as a DM, I tell people, dive into the role. I like when people say, I do this, or they just do it, and they say, I'm going to swing at them, and they say their lines, but then some people are a little less comfortable, and they'll say, my character does this, or Baldrath does this. Okay, fine. But I love that it allows people to jump in as much as they want, or as little as they want, and rarely, when you just get into it, however much is comfortable for you, rarely does anyone not have fun. Because everybody's invested. Everybody is suspending their disbelief and getting a little silly. And it's great. And from the DM side, playing to people's comfort level and people's skill set is a great thing for a DM to do. And then allow the mix of role playing and talking and the bar scene, the going to the blacksmith, the negotiations, and then the battle, and then the battles. I try to always have a mix. Some nights actually, well, you never know. When you DM, some nights you think, we're going to build up to this awesome battle. It's going to be epic. The night's going to, and then you spend the entire session never getting to that battle.
Or you're expecting to get to this epic battle, and then all of a sudden your party comes up with some obscene way
you almost
to
said
just
obnoxious.
go around.
You almost said obnoxious. Were you going to say obnoxious? Because sometimes it's obnoxious.
Sometimes it's obnoxious. I wasn't going to put it there, but obnoxious. You set up this battle, it's going to be epic, and then they talk down the villain. It's like, I guess the villain wouldn't care.
There's a question on the floor.
Or just the randomness of dice roll. And how your epic big bad battle ends up being
nothing,
completely awful.
They level your boss. And as a DM, you can be God and not let it happen. But that's no fun for them, because they know you're being a jerk. I will. Now, I've told people this. If I feel like they're just killing my guys, killing, I'll bump everybody's hit points up rather than try to rewrite this. I got to throw in a different monster. I bump hit points up. I make one of them a shaman or something. And he's got some armor, or he found a ring of invisibility or something like that. And so I will make stuff up because if I'm realizing they're just
cleaning the clock.
I'll cheat a little, but I told
one
them
of those.
No,
I'm just kidding.
But in the storytelling world, and I tell people, again, I'm not some sort of sage of storytelling. I don't have a long list of work or bona fides. I don't. But for storytelling, to get experience building world building characters, role-playing games are perfect.
Yeah.
Role-playing games allow you can make up a nameless, faceless kobold that's going to get killed right out of the gate. Or you can make up or read about, because there's a wealth of, we got all these books and all these
right.
Read about these deep, in-depth characters with backstories and motivations and personality traits. And I know there are people in the creative, the writing world or the comic book world that love big developed worlds and then say they're worthless. I love them. Now, I'm not saying that the merit of a huge developed world is necessarily
telling everybody about
it. It has to be there. But I feel like when you're creating your world, dive in.
Yeah.
And you may have, in every writing endeavor, I think, if you've done your work and it's good, it's going to be the glacier. Most of it's going to be underwater. Most people aren't going to see it. But what I feel like is that gives you all that material to first adhere to and draw from. And I think a lot of times when that's not developed, that's when it allows your story, and I don't mean just role-playing games, but when you're creating a story, if you haven't created that, your character is not grounded, will do things out of character because it's just not there. And we see that a lot in movies, and and I feel like a lot of times when stories, the longer they go, you'll see a character do something out of character. And it's a shame.
Well, let's talk about doing things out of character, because one of the things that I've discovered as I've DM'd and as I've played with new players who've come alongside, one of the things that I a lot of times the biggest thing I have to help them do is does that make sense for your character? Yes. You've made a paladin. You've made this lawful good character. So why are you coming in and swinging a sword the first thing that happens? Right. What's figure out, take some time as a player or as a DM, figure out what's the motivation behind this guy. It doesn't have to be some super big, in-depth thing, but just if you're playing a thief or a rogue, okay, why is he stealing stuff? Does he want to get rich? That's enough.
Right.
You don't need anything, but okay, so is he going to go into a situation where there's no money involved, right? If his big goal is he just wants to be rich, right. I'm not. So you're saying that there's no financial value for me to go into? No, I'm just going to pass. Thanks. Right. And as a DM, that's the other side of things. You need to know what your character's motivations are, and you can either figure that out by watching them and playing with them, or just straight up asking them, what does your character want? And then you have to tailor the story to make sense for that character to be in it, right? For example, if your party has a thief and you're not offering a reward, you're inviting group discord because the thief, it's my character would not want to do this because he's not getting paid. But then the paladin, who's also in the party, wants to do the right thing.
Right.
So now you've created this conflict, and that's on the DM, not on the player.
Well, and if you've got good players, they can, in the game, work to convince the other player.
Right.
Or, you know what? I really want to go. I need your help. I'll cut the profits with you, or you can have my money because I don't need it. I want to help someone.
Right.
And whatever we find, you can have. I think that's fun. And that is something that needs to be, for new players, you need to explain that sort of stuff, because I'm playing with a group and we have somebody who's never played before.
Yeah.
He chose Paladin. He does unpaladinly things frequently. And we had, wait, before you do that.
Before you hack off the person's head without talking to them.
I'll say, if only we had a Paladin. Oh yeah, okay. I'll have to remind him, you're the Paladin. You're Captain America. You're going to be the one that's going to go in first and kick butt. Wait, there's undead. this is your bread and butter, man. You've got to do that. So mixing up the adventure and playing to the characters. But back to the collaborative storytelling. All the work you can put in as a DM. You can guide the story quite a bit. Being heavy-handed ruins the fun.
It does. But the thing is oftentimes I found that when you're not heavy-handed, the players will naturally try to discover more of the world that you've created.
Yeah.
If you've made something that you can tease at it, they'll be like, wait, what's that? Because most players, if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons or if you're playing Roll Tops, you're kind of already on that level of nerd where you like to dive deep. And so if you give like little hints of your world building, they'll be like, wait, what's that? Like the god of Permalbec? Who's that? History roll, right? And you get to explore a little bit deeper. But if you're just super heavy-handed, trying to tell your story or force it down their throat.
And I feel like they check out a lot.
Yeah.
And you notice it around the table.
Yeah.
If only one person is engaged, everybody else checks out.
Exactly.
The annoying thing too is like sometimes they'll pick up on the wrong thing, and you really got to dissuade them from. They'll be like, wait a minute. He put his hand in his pocket when why did he do that? He was wearing boots. Okay, it doesn't matter. you have to get. But
what's he wearing?
But you're wearing boots. He's wearing boots. His cloak was blowing in the wind. Wind comes out of the west. The west. No, stop it. But it's a fun, and you let that go. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, and we try to keep these relatively concise because we talk about stuff that we could talk about.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The thing with Dungeons and Dragons that I feel a lot of times limits the character side. I really like character-driven stories, and I default to like NCIS. NCIS has been on TV for 75 years. I feel like they're in their 76th season.
Whatever, yeah.
And they've shuffled up their characters a few times, but the plot for every episode, it's a formula with variations. Everyone loves the characters. That's the thing. It's character-driven, and people love the characters. So in the D&D world, the characters are really important. The plot's great, but you allow the players be their characters to create this story. Mm-hmm. What I feel like sometimes D&D is missing, and sometimes if the DM could help with this, but there's no interconnectedness for the individual characters. Frequently, you get a bunch of people sitting around a table, and then they all meet at a tavern. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then someone comes up, gives them an adventure, and that's fine for ease of going. It's great.
Yeah,
but in human world, all of our interactions are based on, because we're not 100% altruistic. It's what do I want from you, and what do you want from me? Mm-hmm. And it's not always bad. And most of the time, it's not. It's not nefarious. I just want information, or I want friendship, or I want camaraderie. Well, as the relationships get closer, and you talk about like a romantic relationship, or brothers, or parent and son. What does one want from the other, and what is the other? What can they give? Yeah. It's not a plug here. I don't know if I like the game Hillfolk. The only reason I say that is because I've not been able to get into it. We tried it. It's just there's something lacking. Maybe we're doing something wrong. But what I like is in the character creation side of it, they require you to have how your character is connected to the other, and what they want from that. Now, that might be respect. Mm-hmm. It might be love. And what does that, so as you play...
how does that factor into the story? Absolutely.
So you're not just a dwarf from the Iron Mountains, and I'm not an elf from Lothlorien.
Yeah.
I know. And we're long-lost cousins. And you... Yeah, somehow. We're cousins. Yeah. We're long-lost cousins, and you stole my underwear, and I want it back.
This story got really...
part of that.
Yeah.
Went really way off the rails.
So, or our parents, your dad killed my dad, and I want retribution, or I want an apology. Yeah. So there's more to it. So when we get into these... either in battle or any role playing,
it affects what happens and how the characters go and what's
we were married and now we're divorced and I want an apology.
So now it's just super tense the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Or person A has a crush on person B.
Yeah.
Person B wants nothing to do with person A. So you've got this. But if you don't have that, then it's just like flat. Yeah.
Right. And it can be because we, probably people out there, and I know Dan, we're storytellers as well. Yeah. And so we like a world. Some people want to plop down, turn their brain off, and fight the orcs.
Yeah.
And they don't want to think. They don't want to think. Oh, well, that's my cousin who married my uncle who moved into my grandparents' house, and I really wanted that house because you don't have to think like that.
This sounds like a personal story.
Okay. I'm going to tell you about my cousin. Creating worlds that have depth and dimensions. I love that. I like that, and that's why in any good story, that you add those elements, and in any good storytelling, whether it's on television or a comic book or in a novel, you reveal those things as they go along.
Progressively, yeah.
Yeah, and you find out, you're like, oh, wow. And, of course, good storytelling isn't just, you just drop that information. You tease it out, and then you realize, oh, my gosh, that's why so-and-so
hates this other person's guys. Well, and the beauty thing about storytelling, and this will be the last point.
Sure.
About collaborative storytelling, that you don't get in like a book as you're reading it, or a comic book or movie or anything that's like one-dimensional storytelling. But with collaborative storytelling, not all the players know all the details, right? So like Bob knows that he hates Bill.
Yeah.
But Bill doesn't know that Bob hates him, and he doesn't know why. And so he doesn't really understand. Why are these guys
doing? Yeah.
Why is this guy coming at me? And you don't have to be like the mastermind behind all of it, because it could just play out. And I think that's one of the great things about collaborative storytelling is you get these great character moments and these great moments of even like you can see it on like the big shows like Critical Role and the like, but also like in our local games, there's like these great times where these character moments come out that you just weren't expecting, and it's a lot of fun.
And I have, as a dungeon master, I've secretly told this character that this character did something, and they know it. The whole team does it.
Yeah.
And I do like, while it's sometimes clunky, now it's nice because sometimes you can just text somebody at the table, and you'll say, I'm texting because I love a game too where they don't all have the knowledge, because I try really hard. It's hard to tell someone something a secret, and because everyone's got to overhear it. Or when someone walks into the room by themselves, you describe the room, everyone else hears it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, but I like giving those little nuggets that affect the game, because it adds people are wondering what's going on. Why is he like this? So role-playing games, a great way to develop characters, story worlds, methods of storytelling, and allow plots to be.
And it's a great way to get some experience with storytelling.
Yes, and imagination for everybody involved.
Your imagination muscle.
Yeah.
And we are well over time.
Of course. Oh, we can talk about this. Tell us about your D&D campaigns and your favorite role-playing games and moments, and
your
how
experience
much you love 4th edition D&D.
Yep. Yeah. I've never played.
Good.
All right. And on that note, make sure you like, subscribe, comment your thoughts on your experiences in Dungeons & Dragons, and follow us and stay tuned for more content.
Goodbye. See ya.
Bye.